This is the Renaissance Men Podcast, broadcasting live on YouTube and Twitch. Now please welcome your host, Stuart Garrard.
Good evening and welcome to episode 173 of the Renaissance Men Podcast. I am your host, Stuart Garrard, and joining me to my left, right, whatever, is Jimmy the Sainter.
Yay! Hello, my children. Hello, people. Hello at home. Hello, Stu.
Hello, Jimmy. How the devil are you, sir?
Do you know, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good, Stu. I'll be honest. I was tired earlier. I was tired. I was at work doing my thing, and I was like that. God.
It's been one of those weeks, Jimmy. I'm with you.
But
Yep.
I had to go to the gym, and I was like, I didn't want to go, but I went, and do you know what? Afterwards, I felt like £1 million.
Lovely stuff. Still on your health kick. That's great. That is fantastic.
Yeah. Trying. Yeah. Gym 3 times a week. Good run. Ran 10.5 miles last Sunday. Yeah, don't muck about, boy.
Well, I explained last week that I'm going to start in Slimming World. That happens on Monday. So obviously I've just had one last hurrah, battered sausage and chips this evening.
Oh, I love battered sausage and chips.
Delicious. Absolutely delicious. So I'm cramming all the food into my face I can before I then go on to the Slimming World plan.
Because you want to do your weigh-in at your peak. At your Andre the Giant heaviest.
Peak performance. Lovely to have you, Jimmy. Lovely to have you, as always.
I'd be interested in having that as a new section, your Slimming World updates each week.
Right, weight loss. Okay, yeah, that'd be good, because that might inspire me to just like keep it up. Because you know me, I've come on occasionally and said, "I started Slimming World." You mentioned last time. Oh, you always mention when you're starting, but not so much when you're jacked it in.
Yeah.
So maybe me coming on and reporting Weight Watch. Yeah. Not Weight Watchers. That's we could get some legal trouble here, actually, couldn't we? But yeah, we'll come on and give you our weight updates. I'm saying our because obviously I'm including you in this.
Yep. Fair enough.
As a motivation, nothing more than a motivational tool.
Yeah, because I'll either big you up or
quite literally, or skinny me up.
Or skin you down. Yeah, big you down.
Skin me down, rag me down, skin me down. Anyway, this is the Renaissance Men Podcast. We are here every week to discuss the latest in geek culture. That's what we do every Friday night, live on YouTube and Twitch. Neil J's in the chat already. Welcome, Neil.
Hey, Neil.
Hello, Neil. As always, it's becoming a regular. Loving it. Thank you, Neil, for joining us as always. Do let us know how we're sounding, how we're looking. Here's Benj. Come in quick. If you want to say something, do say hello. It's Benj.
We've got Rock in the chat as well.
Hello, Rock. Rock's there. There we go. Rock, anything interesting, insightful to tell us, Benji? No, nothing? Oh, he made a smoothie today.
Right.
At school, made a smoothie to teach them all about healthy eating, which is good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Comes home, has his smoothie at school, comes home, has his battered sausage and chips.
Yeah, what was his smoothie? Was it battered sausage and chips in a blender, grinded up?
What did you have in your smoothie, mate? What veggies or fruit?
The one I made.
Yeah. Carrot. Yep. Banana.
No, not banana.
No. Carrot. Yep.
Pineapple. And
mango.
And
that's it. Lovely.
Sounds delicious.
Tropical. Absolutely tropical.
Sounds delicious.
Love you and leave you. Give me a high five.
Midnight.
There you go. Renaissance Men Next Gen. Right there.
Lovely. Comments in the chat, Stu. Neil.
Yes, sorry.
Neil says, can you give us starting weight?
Oh, okay. I don't know because I haven't weighed in yet and my scales aren't working. I reckon about 17.5. I reckon.
He's hoping.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Sounding good. That's good. Kind of smoothie. Rock. Lovely stuff.
Done. Right. A special show for us this week, Jimmy, isn't it?
Oh, it's a big one. It's a biggie.
It's a big one. We've got a special guest coming on at around 7 o'clock. Renowned. Is that the right term? Renowned voice actor.
Yep.
Adam Howden.
Well known.
I think we called him. I think we sold him as voice acting. What did I call it?
Voice actor extraordinaire, I think.
That was it. Yeah. Voice acting extraordinaire. He's coming. First question is coming. Where is Adam? Ha ha ha. Yes, people might think that we've hustled them at this point because he's not here. He is coming. He's coming at 7. Okay, promise.
And he'll stay as long as he wants.
Indeed. Yep. Indeed. We
Till he gets bored.
Indeed. Yeah. But anyway, Jimmy. Sorry, we've gone off piece there. Ben just thrown me. How else was how was your week? Have you had a good week?
Yeah, as I say, it's been lovely. I mean, I did have a bit of a bone to pick with you.
Me?
You, with regards to myself. I was on Facebook, and it came up saying I've been friends on Facebook with my very good friend Michael Fielding, who is Noel Fielding's brother, plays Naboo in The Mighty Boosh. Said we've been friends on Facebook for 15 years. So I was like, well, that's worth mentioning. So it said, do you want to share this? So I said, yeah, I'll share that. And I was like, hope you're good, Mike. Instantly attacked by Stu, the naked bear Garrard, skinned bear, saying, look at Jimmy dropping names about his celebrity friends. And then even said and poked up with all the shit you've said. You never told us your mates with him.
That's a fair point.
So I was taken aback by this visceral reaction that I got.
Quite right.
I mean, I could say as soon as I posted it, my good friend Michael Fielding messaged me and said, "How are you doing, pal? Nice." And we had a nice chat. But that's not evidence that we're friends. No. I could be lying. So I've provided some pictures from when I was an extra on the show The Mighty Boosh.
So to prove you're not a name dropper, we're using more evidence of you dropping names.
I'm proving that we're friends, and I was just wishing him a nice. It's nice. It's been 15 years. It's been too long.
Well, let's get these up. Here we go. Here's the first one.
Yeah, now obviously I'm not in that picture.
No, unless you're in the gorilla suit.
No.
Okay.
That is Bollo.
Here we go.
But Michael is in. There's Michael Naboo at the end there, his head down.
Yes. Yep.
There's Noel and Julian, of course.
Oh, I'm clicking the wrong. Oh my god.
Yep. He's got rid of us. We've gone. No, we're back.
I was clicking the wrong screen. It's not like my nan doing the podcast. There we go. There's Jimmy. There we go.
There I am on set. Been invited. That's me, my good friend Michael Fielding, come and be an extra. And today there, and I've had a few fun nights with Michael, and he may even come on the show one day. Who knows?
Jimmy, actually, are you on IMDb? I've never asked this. Are you? You should get yourself on there.
What for that?
Yeah.
Startled curly-haired man.
I'm sure there's people on there for worse things, worse roles.
Yeah, well, fair enough. But there we go. That's just a bit of, it wasn't name dropping. He's an old friend. I was just saying, I hope you're doing well, buddy.
No, I know. I'm only ribbing you. You know that. We're on the wrong sides. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Rock says, I do like Noel from IT Crowd to Bake Off. Yes.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's done quite the range, isn't he? Yeah, he was great in IT Crowd. I loved it.
Yeah, very funny.
Welcome, Martin. We're both good. Yeah, I think we're good. You good, Jimmy?
We're good. Yeah, we're good. Hopefully Martin's in the bath as usual. That's where he likes to listen to us.
Alex, forgive me if I'm saying your name wrong, Alex. Alex Perez?
I'd say Piri, wouldn't you?
Piri. I like it. Do you like wrestling? Yeah, we do like wrestling. Yes, we do.
We do like wrestling.
Later on. Before we briefly bring on our super special guest for the week, let me just say what I've been doing. It's been a fairly standard week, right there, Mrs.
Unbelievable.
Fairly standard. It's been a hard week of graft at work, to be honest. It's been one of those weeks. When you come back from a week of annual leave and then you do some, you come back into the grindstone. It's been one of those, and but I just wanted to put a general thank you out there to the abundance of subscribers we've got this week, Jimmy, through your Star Trek, your Rentrek watch along reaction to
Picard.
God, episode was it 9?
9, series 3, episode 9. It was a very emotional episode, Stu, for many people out there, and we were overwhelmed, weren't we, by the amount of views, subs, comments.
It's been great, absolutely great. The thing that got me most was the comments. You know, in your video, like you were going back and forth with some really die-hard Trek fans, and yeah, they're just quite heartwarming, to be honest.
It was lovely.
Yeah, it
was like the amount of views. I've never had that many views on something. Certainly not something where I've been talking on it. And I do know that it was a special episode. You know, I've got the last one tonight. I'm absolutely buzzing for that. I'm
Rob's watching episode 9 right now, so let's not spoil anything.
No, I won't.
But let's just say it brought you to tears, didn't Jimmy?
Absolutely. Oh yeah, I was balling it. So you might get another balling it Saint tonight. We'll see. Comment of the comments though, Stu.
What are we looking at?
Got to be was his name? I think his name was Dijan.
Have I missed that?
No, it was no on the actual Picard video watch along.
Sorry, my bad.
The comment of all comments was, "I'd like to snuggle up with you and watch Star Trek."
Yeah, lovely stuff.
I was taken away by that. I was honoured.
Welcome, Agil. I'm so sorry if I'm going to butcher. I may butcher so many names tonight, so I am sorry, but thank you so much for coming and joining us. Let me just let people know where they can find us, and then we'll bring on our super special guest, Sue Cook. No, it's not Sue Cook. That's a partridge joke. Sorry. Yes, we are the Renaissance Men, and you can indeed find us at a variety of places. Well, let's do this one first. Obviously, you're watching us on YouTube or twitch.tv/RenaissanceCast. We also have a Twitter channel as well, so come join in the conversation with the community over there. And also, if you want to help contribute to the running of the show and reinvest into the Renaissance Men, then you can come over and buy us a coffee at coffee.com or ko-fi.com/RenaissanceCast. For £3, you'll buy us a coffee. And we'll reinvest a figurative coffee. You know, we say that every week.
Yeah.
We invest it into the show. Yeah.
We'll spend it on crack. Oh, the show. We'll spend it on the show, yeah.
Right. Without further ado, let's bring on our super special guest, voice acting extraordinaire.
Name a game, he's been in it. You know, you've got to.
Well, let's get him on.
It's amazing.
Welcome. Adam Howden. Here we go. Welcome, Adam. There he is. Let me get a reaction for you. Yay. There's the boy.
Was to be sat here pretending to masturbate, and then you guys would bring.
Start as you mean to go on.
Yeah, nice. I didn't notice. It's just like a normal occurrence for us, to be honest. Adam, first off, thank you so much for coming on our show. We reached out to you, and you agreed to come on. Quite why you did that, I don't know, but it's an absolute pleasure to have you on, sir. Thank you so much. It's going to be an absolute pleasure to chat with you about your career, any future projects you've got, or just general geeky topics, to be honest, because that's what we do here at the Renaissance Men. So thank you so much, and we've got a whole host of questions for you, as you know.
Cool.
So hopefully we'll get through those, and we'll have a cracking good time.
I've got a really farty chair.
That's fine.
So
okay. So what we got? We've had wanks and farts so far.
If you hear a little toot, it might not be my bum. It might be, but I mean, we'll see how we go.
Adam, are you able to turn? Is the mic sounding all right to you, Stu? It's a little
it sounds fine.
Echoey. Do you want to check you've got the echo cancellation on? Always the same.
Or Adam.
I don't know. I wouldn't even know how to do that. I mean,
is that all right to you? Maybe it's just my
it's
crappy
fine.
headphones.
Well, let us know in the chat. How does Adam sound?
I am using the oldest laptop in the house, but it's just because it just seems to be. Not that I've got a million laptops. There's 2 in the house, but this one is the older one, and it's kind of like Old Faithful. It just kind of works quite well. But
a man who lives a life of leisure with his thousands of laptops.
Well, if something's not broken, you don't chuck it away. I've got loads of laptops. I mean, for various reasons, but you
dear.
don't chuck them away.
Chuck them into the sea. That's what you need to do, mate.
Yeah, what's on these old laptops, Jim?
Mhm.
Going out on a boat in the middle of the night.
Adam, how the devil are you? It's customary for me and Jimmy to say how our weeks have been. How has your week been, my friend?
My week, it's been relatively uneventful in terms of like work, but although I did have a commercial casting yesterday, which I have a recall for on Monday.
Oh, lovely!
Are we allowed to say for what product, or should we leave it there?
It's gambling related, but we'll leave it there.
Nice.
Not that I'm much of a gambler, but I mean, it's yeah. I mean,
I could see you doing that. I could see you. What have you got to go like? Yes, I won something.
Essentially, it's that kind of like check the thing and go. Kind of, it's essentially that, but if I get it, I get it. And that would be a nice bit of money to pay for a holiday or something,
or gamble it.
Or just pay off, or just pay off my existing debts.
Yeah, I don't. Hey, don't. People think you're successful, Ad. Don't show them how the sausage is made. As I
do that too much. Yeah. We need to stop that. Well, Adam, I'm glad you had it. Oh, I wish you all the best for that. To be honest, so yeah, good luck. Hopefully, we'll see. Is that like a TV thing?
Yeah, it'll be on the TV or something.
Oh, nice. Wow.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed, mate. Fingers crossed. Before we get into the questions, I did want to ask you, because I don't like to let me rephrase that. What do you consider do I call you a voice artist? Do I call you an actor? What's the term I should be calling you? Or we should be calling you? What do you see yourself as?
I mean, I went to drama school and I trained as an actor. But shortly afterwards, after leaving, I got a voice agent as well as an acting agent, and the voice agent was sending me up for auditions for video games, which is something I'd never ever considered.
Yeah.
And then I started getting the parts, and I was like, oh, this is quite a cool thing, and I quite enjoy it. And they are characters, and obviously you get to play characters that you never get to play because you play things that you don't look physically like. But if the voice fits, then that's great.
And you've appeared in, I mean, hundreds of games, haven't you? The list. Stu, do you want to reel off some of the list?
I'll get the list up, shall I? Yeah, let's do that.
Oh yeah, what's the IMDb?
Yes. Let me
Before you came on, Adam, Stu asked me if I had an IMDb because I was once an extra in the Mighty Boosh. I don't know if he was taking the piss.
Yeah, kind of. I ain't gonna lie.
You can add yourself if.
I'm sure. Jimmy, you know our friend Midge. I'm sure he's on IMDb, but I think he added himself.
Well, sometimes you have to. As an actor, director, you've got to put yourself out there.
Exactly. I'm loving that shot, Adam. Absolutely loving that. That's smoldering, Adam, right there.
God, that's before I was a parent. I look so much healthier, don't I?
Don't we all? Yeah, didn't we all?
Yeah.
I had a full head of hair, to be honest. Yeah. So sorry. Let's take a look at some of the highlights. Xenoblade Chronicles series. I think that's for me as a massive Nintendo fan. That's one of the biggies for me.
They've been pretty popular games.
Yeah. What would you say was your big break in the video game voice acting world? Looking through these.
Well, I mean, I got very lucky early on in terms of the franchises I was working for. So I started so Star Wars: The Old Republic, and which I did lots of various. I did loads of characters, loads of little characters. And then Dragon Age Origins, where I played loads of sort of bit parts, if you like, including one called the Ostagar Prisoner, which is this hungry guy who's locked in a cage. And then from that, from Dragon Age Origins, the creators of Dragon Age kind of thought my voice would work quite well for Anders in Dragon Age 2.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't actually the original voice of Anders. There was a guy called Greg Ellis, who really good actor.
I know that name.
He's in the Pirates of the Caribbean films. He's whenever Captain Jack Sparrow pulls off some amazing feat, he's the guy who turns to Jack Davenport and goes, "That's the best pirate I've ever seen."
Yeah,
I think he's in all those films. He probably wasn't available to carry on voicing Anders because of Pirates of the Caribbean, and that's why they recast it. I mean, it might not be that. It could be something else. I don't know, but they also, I think that Anders, to start off with, in where he first appeared in Dragon Age Awakening, I think it is, he was a bit more jovial as a character. And they were deciding to, with the way I was doing it, they're going down a much more kind of emo route.
We've got some questions about Anders coming in.
People love Anders.
One of our former hosts of the show is an absolute Dragon Age nerd, and he was straight in there with the Anders questions. So
my sister-in-law was a massive Dragon Age fan, and when I first met her, and obviously me and Adam have met a couple of times before. And I asked you to kindly do a voice message for her, didn't you? And you did a voice message for my sister-in-law. That gave me some brownie. Yeah, that gave me some brownie points into the family that I was joining.
And the rest is history. Yeah, excellent. We've got some questions, obviously, for you. Shall we go into those, Jimmy? I think this is a good time as any to transition into those. So let me bring us back. And I'll just bring up the sting for our very special edition of Ask Us Anything. You'll find, Adam, that I do cock up the stings. So I have to find them. Here we go. Ask Us Anything. Here we are. Ask Us Anything, special edition, starring, I'm going to say, Adam Howden, voice acting extraordinaire. The first question is it's a word association, Adam, and it's from @WWE Master 2018 on Twitter. Obviously, we chucked out a post on Twitter to say that you're coming on for people to submit their questions, and they have done. So we've got 14 video games here. I'm assuming you've been in these, or done some work on these.
I think you sent me this list, haven't you? So
I did.
Well, don't look at it, because this is word association. You know how improv is. Let's do this thing.
Tell me. Sorry, go on.
Well, I don't know, what do we want to get from this, because the question isn't entirely clear. It just says 14 video game word association. Do we want to get like a word that kind of sums up your experience doing the voices, if indeed you did do the voices on all these games, or because I'm going to assume you haven't played all of these games.
So what, are you going to say like a game title to me, and I'm going to just sort of say the first word that comes to my mind? So if you say...
Think of it like therapy.
Yeah. And Adam, this isn't our idea. This is WWE Master 2023 or whatever his name is. This is his question. So you can't blame us.
I get nervous coming on these kinds of things. I'm just going to say something really inappropriate.
Really try to say something really inappropriate, because then we can go viral with the voice of Anders.
I always put my cock in my mouth.
Is that the saying?
Clip that, please. We'll get that out there on TikTok. Right, 14 video games. Word association with Adam Howden. First up, Dragon Age.
Perverts.
Oh, interesting.
That's going to be his answer for everything.
There's a reason. There's a reason for that, actually, because when I first started, because I was just on Twitter, like, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago or whatever, Dragon Age came out, and suddenly people started tweeting at me, and and it was really nice. Obviously, people saying very complimentary things, or they say, "How could you do that?" because of what my character does. But all these people, I just sort of refer to them as the Dragon Age perverts. Also because you could play the game as a boy or a girl, and that you could romance basically
do
everyone.
anything, mate.
It was just a massive fucking game orgy, really.
It really was.
Sounds lovely.
Loved it.
Before you carry on, Stu, I know we've got some questions coming in the comments. We will get to those questions.
We
Do
will.
not panic.
Yes.
Stick with
No,
us.
don't panic.
All right,
Don't
so
panic. And do keep them
Let's just
coming.
get through this ordeal first.
Sorry.
Number 2, Lost Horizon.
Fenton!
Okay.
That's the character.
Right. No, I like it. Fable 3.
Twirly Whirlies.
Twirly Whirlies. Inazuma 11-2.
Headmaster.
This is great. Star Wars: The Old Republic.
Baffled.
Did you not know what you was doing on
A
that?
lot of the time, I had no idea what I was doing. There was very little context. It was right, here's your character, here's the lines, and just kind of. And I was really new to video games. They probably thought I was proper shit, but I was baffled.
Just looking at some of the character names that you played the parts of, I can't even pronounce them. I mean, Star Wars is it's quite, there's a very lore heavy, isn't it? And if you're not outside of that, I can imagine it's quite overwhelming if you're trying to play a character with it.
It was such a vast game. It was. I worked on it for years. Yeah, like it's bonkers.
Yeah, it's a MMO, Jimmy. Like a game that kind of goes on and on and on and on.
MMO, yeah.
Oh, I forgot who I was talking to. Sorry, mate. Number 6, Xenoblade Chronicles.
Paid for your mortgage.
Unicorn. Yeah.
I fucking wish it paid my mortgage. Fucking hell.
The Secret of the Unicorn. Oh, is that Tintin? Is that Tintin? Yeah. Captain
Haddock.
Oh, I like that.
Terrible.
Nice.
You played Tintin though in that though, right?
I did. I didn't play Captain Haddock. That was Captain Haddock was played by a really brilliant impressionist called Lewis MacLeod, who's in like Spitting Image, and I mean, just Google him, Lewis MacLeod, brilliant impressionist. Wonderful.
Can you give us one of your Tintin lines?
No, Snowy, don't lick me there.
Yeah, classic.
Oh, I remember.
Classic.
That. Yeah.
Hidden bonus speech, wasn't it?
Oh dear. Soul Sacrifice.
Screaming. Lots of screaming.
Company of Heroes.
When? I did do it. Do you know the thing is what's really when we did it, there was a code name. It wasn't called company. They didn't tell us it was called.
Play.
So it came out.
You might,
and I was added to my IMDb or whatever, and I went, "Oh, was that the game I worked on?" Because nobody told me that was what the game was.
I do think we're getting into probably the weeds of your career here. Final few ones.
I'm sure it's a great game, but it's just it's the nature of working on video games. Is often they're so secretive that you don't know what you're working on.
Yeah. Were you in FIFA? Because this list has FIFA on it.
I think I was in FIFA 17.
What did you play?
Like
the crowd, the whole crowd.
Yeah, there were about 15 or 20 of us who just for a day or two were just running around this big room in East London, being like the crowd, doing like the locker room banter.
Oh wow, you were.
They worked us, but yeah, we did a lot of. I guess it's ADR, really, isn't it? It's all the additional dialogue.
Interesting. Where were we? Assassin's Creed.
France.
Yep.
That was the French one I did.
Yes. Unity, I think. No.
Yeah, Unity.
Yeah, the Revolution one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about Les Mis earlier, weren't we, Jimmy?
Oh, we were loving it.
It's like Assassin's Creed Les Mis. Yeah.
I think. Do you know what? It's funny you say that. I saw the Les Mis film with Jim. I remember coming. I hated it so much. I came out of the cinema and I kicked the wall because I knew
you're such an actor.
Because I knew I was gonna hate it, and then I was so angry at myself for going to watch it.
I remember enjoying it.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
Where were we? Final Fantasy.
Ongoing. It's still going.
Yeah. I assume they mean the 14, the MMO again.
Yeah,
keeps on going.
I don't think I've done anything on it for a couple of years, but yeah, but yeah, it keeps going. It's obviously making some money.
Hopefully they'll pick up the phone again for you. And finally, XCOM.
Aliens. Fucking aliens.
Fucking aliens. There we go. That was our word association game. Thank you, WWE Master 2018, for that.
Thanks.
You got what you wanted out of that, WWE Master. What a list of games. It's kind of weird when you list them all out and you see them all on IMDb. You've been in more people's houses than the Wet Bandits. You've been in more people's houses than a lot of like famous actors who are like.
Point. Yeah,
your voice will have been on more people. Play video games again and again, probably more than they watch an episode of some show. So your voice is really famous. If it's just they don't know how handsome comes along with that voice, how handsome that man is.
Face for radio.
I know, right? Weird.
Tell me all. That's why we podcast. Jimmy, do you want to do the next question?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As we were talking,
that's the next question.
Yeah.
Sorry,
these ones are from DRB. So he was a former co-host on the show, and these are the drag. We're getting into the Dragon Age weeds at this point. So
why did you get rid of him?
Oh no! I didn't.
We don't get rid of anyone; they just leave us.
Yeah,
they have enough of us. Adam, seriously, after a while, you will have had enough of us, and you will not want to come back. DRB is an amazing chap. He's got a brilliant voice. He'd be wonderful voice actor. He'd be fantastic. DRB asks, towards the end of Dragon Age 2, the actions of Anders are pretty extreme. At what stage did you learn about his attack on the Chantry? How did you feel about it? And did this affect how you portrayed him at all? Context. Anders essentially starts a civil war by blowing up a church, killing many in response in the religious persecution of mages. Wow, that's in depth. What do you think of that, Adam?
I think that you should think of Anders as like a sort of Nelson Mandela type figure.
Jesus Christ! There we go.
He's got his.
Here we go.
Got, some would say terrorist, some would say freedom fighter. Oh. We've all got our causes. I think that there's no point.
Oh, there's our podcast gold, Stu.
Yeah. There's no, but seriously speaking, that there's at no point does Anders go like, I'm the bad guy. Do you know what I mean? He does something that he knows that people are going to be upset with him about, but he's fighting for his cause, and I think in terms of me playing that, it doesn't help to sort of, you don't judge the character, if you're playing if an actor's going to play like a famous dictator, they don't go, I'm the villain in this. They think they're righteous, don't they? They think they're doing a good thing. So in terms of again, because the game is huge, they give you your dialogue, and they give you as much context as they kind of can to get the performance out of you in a certain time window. And they also they probably don't want to tell you everything because it just overcomplicates things. But essentially, they just gave me the information that sort of put me in a way of going, this is the right thing to do. And I'm just going to go down this path, and it doesn't really matter what the naysayers say, kind of thing. This has to be done.
Good characters are complex, aren't they, and have multiple levels. That's why someone like Iron Man is more interesting than Superman. There's complexities to him. Someone wants to be a good person, but everyone's got a past. Everyone can be pushed to do certain things. And that's when you find out, I think, the real depths of a character and the guts of a character when they're pushed in certain situations.
Yeah, well, I mean, with Dragon Age, with Anders, I mean, the main character is sort of forced to choose whether or not to kill Anders for what he's done.
Right, interesting.
I've been sent an awful lot of videos of me being stabbed,
mostly by your wife.
As actors or an actor, I'm just throwing this out there to general actors. Do you is it difficult when a character that you've kind of molded and you've played for a long while or you've become invested in, when they take it in a direction you don't necessarily agree with? Is there anything is there like any pushback you can give, or do they just ignore anything that you're saying? They just say rock up, do the lines, and go.
I unfortunately have not at that point in my career where I can sort of dictate not many people are they? No, but you do start to see it, don't you? When a show starts on whatever channel it might be, and then second series, third series, you start to see that the lead actor is also one of the executive producers. Yeah, and they're obviously calling the shots on it. At this stage, certainly. I mean, I don't know if I'll ever get to that stage, but I kind of do as I'm told. Really.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. I'll ask the next question, which is linked because it's asked by DRB again, and it's related to Dragon Age and Anders. DRB says, "I'm hopeful that we'll see Anders re-emerge in Dragon Age Dreadwolf." I'm assuming that's another game in the series.
Yeah, it's in the works. I hear. I can say categorically, I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
Like, I haven't signed an NDA or anything. So, I literally haven't. So it probably means I'm having nothing to do with it. Yeah. But obviously, if at some point I am forced to sign an NDA, then I'll just be like, I don't know anything about it.
No comment.
Take what you want from that. Remember, Andrew Garfield said he wasn't in Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But DLB asked, if Anders were to appear, would you like to see him continue down his vengeful path, or would you prefer to see him redeemed in some manner?
Oh, good question.
I mean, ideally both, because that would be like more recording time and I get paid more money. But like, you can choose. It's like choose. Do you want to go down the vengeful path or be redeemed?
The good or bad ending. Yeah.
But yes, I mean, I guess ultimately it'd be nice to be redeemed, right?
Yeah, we all like a redemption story, don't we? I think.
Well, I'm a villain. I would have gone villain. I would have gone harder into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There we go, DLB. I hope we've satiated your Dragon Age 2 lust. He's one of those perverts you were talking about, to be honest.
Like, that game's old, and he's still wanking over Dragon Age 2. That game came out in 2011.
Probably.
We're all still wanking over a Dragon Age 2. Stu, may I ask, because some of the questions we'll go back to the ones in the notes, but people in the chat who are here.
Okay. Yeah, let's do some of these. Let's go back to the top.
I think Alex Piri is the first one.
Yes, Alex Piri asks, question for Adam. Will you do an acting job?
I think it should be for
WWE or AEW video games, for example, in the WWE or AEW storylines or session mode or something like that.
So the wrestling games.
Yeah.
What, would I voice a wrestler or be in it? Could I do the mocap as a wrestler?
Face scan
with my dad bod. Like,
many wrestlers have dad bods these days.
I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it if you could have me, and then like if they could somehow, do you know? I want to fight against Legion of Doom.
Okay.
And do you know?
He's a lapsed wrestling fan. I like it.
It was just brilliant. Do you know? There's this thing called More Paint It. It's like this artist who you basically send an idea.
Yes.
And then he paints it. And there's a brilliant one, which is Rick Mail and Adrian Edmondson.
I've seen this.
As their bottom characters fighting Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
So I would like to join that tag team. I reckon me and Rick and Aid against Legion of Doom. We'd still get our asses kicked. But yeah, I'd love to. I'd love to do. A wrestling game.
Anything that pays.
The wrestlers will do their own voices, but obviously, as they said, they're in season mode. You'll have a character that you play as that goes through the story. So if you could pick their accent, if you could have English, you could have Adam.
I could be like the new version of British Bulldog.
You could.
Can you do a Manchester? Can you do a crack crack addict Manchester accent.
Is that what he was?
Oh yeah, big time. Big time. No, was he Liverpool or Manchester?
I don't think he wasn't Liverpool. He wasn't Liverpool.
Manchester.
Manchester, yeah.
Why can't I just be like kind of... well, I mean, didn't Triple H start out as Hunter Hearst Helmsley?
That's mate. That's where I'm going. You've got the look of someone of the aristocracy. About that's a compliment.
I'm really not like my drama school makes me sound posher than I am. I'm really not posh still, but
me too.
If I could be like some kind of to the manor born type guy who then suddenly reveals himself to be fucking nails. Peter Bowles.
I'm liking this. We'll get on the blower to Vince McMahon. Next question.
Rock asks, do you have to physically go to the casting client to audition, or these days is it likely to be remote via video, etc.? And same question about actually fulfilling the gig. Are they remote, I guess?
For video games, most of the time now it is actually, you could do like a home recording. So just do like for the audition, that is. For the audition, I can do a demo from home. And I've got a little kind of makeshift studio, so I can record it and polish it up a bit just so it sounds nice and clean. And then sometimes they still call you in for it depends how sort of top secret it is, and if they might not want to send you anything, they want you to come into the studio and read it off their screen so that they know that no information has been leaked anywhere. But yeah, when it comes to recording the games, pretty much always going to the studio because their studios are just much better quality. During during the lockdowns, I did record stuff from home because there were ongoing projects that had been years in the making. I mean, obviously it takes a long time to make a game, and suddenly these games are like, oh fuck, what are we going to do? Like, people aren't allowed to leave their homes, so everyone bought microphones and padded out their wardrobes with foam, and we made do.
Needs must, mate, I suppose, at the end of the day, during those horrendous years. Right.
Dexter
Manning asks, what's your favourite line from Xenoblade Chronicles aside from "I'm really feeling it"?
It's one that I can't really repeat very well because it's. I mean, I can say it. It's the line "I'll kill you," but it's where Shulk goes full on fucking raging at the Mechon, and it's yeah. I mean, like it's just it was a really good time in my life. I was recording that, and I remember like just being in the studio and being able to just go fucking mental, and going crazy. And I don't even think my voice is capable of. I've trashed my voice so much through shouting and screaming on video games. So it was still nice and fresh back then. I was still in my 20s when I did the first Xenoblade game. I'm going to be 40 in about 3 months. It's disgusting.
Yeah, we're catching up with you, Adam. We're catching up with you.
Yeah, it's true.
So yeah, it was really lovely when people send you videos of their reactions to some of those kind of emotional moments from the game, and seeing how it's affected them, like in terms of, because for video games, for a lot of people, are the way I would sort of be affected by a movie. I'm probably, I'd say, traditionally, because of being an actor and everything, it's always been kind of films that I really, really want to do.
Yeah.
But like video games are so expansive that and expensive, but they're a whole world for the fans of them, and they love them so much. They are their lives, and it's just it's much bigger than a movie even.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
I think it's amazing that you can affect someone's life the way you do, like as an actor playing a character that someone really invests in and loves and adores. One question I have, please do indulge me, chat, is you've got kids. Have you got one kids? Just the one.
I got one.
He's enough. Yeah, I'm with you. Do you look forward to the day when your child can play games with your characters in them? Is that something you've even considered, or perhaps you don't want them to be a gamer? I don't know, but
sorry, can you hear a buzzing? Is that me, or is that one of you guys?
It might be my place. It might be my kitchen. Bear with me 1 second. I'll go off camera.
Sorry, I was just being really paranoid that my house was making a noise.
No, I think it's me.
Is your dishwasher on, Jimmy?
Talking about kids, my daughter's turned up into the room with her face covered in red paint. She's supposed to be in bed, so I don't know what the hell is happening. Give me 1 second. I am listening.
You go sort that out. Sorry. You go sort that out. I forgot what my question was. Oh yeah, would you like your kid? I imagine that'd be a certain sense of pride, and if they play in a game with your voice in it, especially if they recognize it as well. That's Daddy.
I mean, I imagine at some point, because he's going to be 4 in 2 months, and we went to watch the Mario film last week.
Yeah.
And it's sort of bouncing around in the back of my head that Shulk from Xenoblade is in Super Smash Brothers with all of these characters. And I was thinking, like, it's not going to be too long before we're going to be like, we're going to get a Switch and we're going to kick the shit out of each other on these games. And it's really fun because, admittedly, I've sort of dropped out of playing video games really for a while because I just don't have the time. But
because you're in them, that's why.
Yeah.
It's a marvelous place to be.
But yeah, it's going to be, and I know he's going to love them. I just know he's going to love playing these games. I'm not sure how much he's going to. I don't know what type of games, but I know he's already obsessed with Mario, and he's never even played the thing. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to be. He's got the little Hot Wheels Mario in his cart, and every time he sees him on the bus at the moment, where there's a bus going past with the adverts on it, he's just like, "It's Mario!"
Yeah, I love. What did you think of the Mario film? I absolutely loved it. I loved it.
I did it when they decide to go to war, and they're like they hit the Rainbow Road in all their carts. It's just like yes,
it was, isn't it? Yeah, it's so nostalgic. I mean, we spoke about this last week. Granted, there's not a massive, like, deep involving plot there, but just so evocative, and Jimmy calls them member berries. Is it member berries? Remember berries. Are you on mute?
Remember berries.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. And I know that in terms of voice acting as well, like Chris Pratt, I know it was very controversial him voicing Mario. I'm not sure I would have known it was him. If it was never advertised, I'm not sure I would have known it was him, which is a compliment to him in terms of his voice acting. But then you kind of then go, so why is it Chris Pratt? They could have got someone cheaper. Do you know what I mean? Because, I really enjoyed the film anyway.
Yeah,
I know what you mean. Is Chris Pratt a draw to the video gaming sort of world? Like, the draw is Mario, isn't it? That's the draw. Like, no one's going because Chris Pratt's in it.
I guess maybe they just didn't want to take the chance. But I mean, you'd think that it would just sell itself.
Yeah,
I've thought about this. What if I got replaced on Xenoblade Chronicles? If someone else was voicing Shulk, there's a part of me that obviously that would hurt my ego.
Oh, I bet.
But I bet the game would still sell really well because people just love it. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're really good. They're really good games.
Yeah, I'll just get someone that sounds vaguely like you. It'll be fine.
And I'll hunt them down, fucker.
Yeah. Next question. Where should we go? Bear with me.
What was your buzzing, Jim?
Yeah, can you still hear it?
No,
No,
I
no,
can't
no.
hear it at all. But I just,
Oh.
you know, I was just like, what was?
It's just
what,
stopped. It was my oven.
is that on the blink?
My double oven.
My double oven, my new kitchen.
Just going off. Yeah, it's fine now. The daughter's covered in face paint, claiming that the other kid woke up and did it and went back to sleep, but she's done it just as an excuse to come downstairs. She's covered.
Right.
Send us to bed.
So, where was it? There it is. Okay. So, Adam needs to be in a horror video game as voice acting like Saw, Friday the 13th, or Child's Play in the future. You could branch out into horror.
Yeah, I'd happily.
More
do
of a
that.
statement than a question.
I've definitely got the screaming chops for it.
Yeah,
I could scream like a high pitched girly, being massacred. Absolutely.
Alex also asks if they do a film about Tom Brady, you are perfect for the role. Assuming saying you look like Tom Brady.
I don't know who Tom Brady is.
Tom Brady's one of the best American football players of all time, isn't he? The quarterback who is.
Yeah, it's
like
a bit
the
of a
best
chiseled
ever.
chin. Yeah, it's got.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
Can you do an American accent? Is that on your CV?
Yeah, I've done plenty of American accents, but I don't know American football. But
No,
yeah, I mean,
you and me both.
what are they saying? Are they saying I look like him?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what they're implying. Yeah. Jimmy, we'll move back to
He's probably thinner than I am.
Yeah, move back to the other questions, Stu. Just before you do,
go on.
Chris Lacey says Bulldog was from Wigan, so we've cleared that up.
Thanks.
The British
Cheers,
Bulldog's
Lacey.
from Wigan.
And thank you for your comments, Lacey. Thank you, sir. That I read earlier in the chat.
So the crackhead from Wigan, not Manchester.
Yes, you're right. Right. XenoWolf88 asks, are there any already existing franchises you haven't worked on but would like to be a part of? That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to do like Red Dead Redemption or something. I'd love to be.
Oh yeah,
A
something.
zombie.
Do a zombie.
Brains. 50 quid, please.
There's also like Side UK, or which is now called Side PTW, it's a recording studio where I recorded lots of my games. When I remember when they were recording The Witcher 3, and I was in doing something else, and obviously I'm not complaining because I've got some work, so I'm like, that's I'm very happy I've got some work. But everyone, I'm seeing loads of people I know, loads of people who are in the same games as me going in to do The Witcher, and I'm like, why am I not in that fucking game? And obviously, I quite enjoyed watching the shows. I've quite enjoyed watching them. So I would have quite liked, if they're going to ever do any more Witcher games, I'd quite like to do those. I think they're making more Mass Effect again, because Mass Effect and Dragon Age, it's BioWare. I'm not in any of the Mass Effect stuff. I'd quite like to be considered.
I now want to know what was the game you were voicing whilst the others were doing Witcher 3?
I think there was a whole bunch of things.
It wasn't something particularly shit.
No, it's just. I think it was just I was just doing additional voices in various games, and I'd be going in. And The Witcher 3 was a big game, and it was a really popular big game. And every time I go in, I'd just be seeing people, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm just into The Witcher." I'd be like,
a very diplomatic answer. I like it. Jimmy, do you want to do the next one?
Yes, absolutely. This question is from S. Bar Bryce Boyce.
I know who this is.
Question for Adam. Which actors / actresses / directors would you like to work with? And what is your favorite video game that you have ever played? Good question again.
Do the video game after.
What actors would you like to work with?
I'd like to spend a lot of time with Hayley Atwell.
Yeah, I bet you would.
I think we'd work really well together.
Yeah, I agree. In the Tom Brady movie, where she plays the football that you have to spike.
Do you know what? Because I think it's probably an age thing. And I'm still good mates with a lot of my old drama school mates. I'd really like to work with my old drama school mates. And if some of the more famous ones want to join, that would be fine. But yeah, it'd be nice to just kind of like do a comedy show with some of my old mates from drama school. And if people like Gwendolyn Christie want to join in, we'd let them in.
Like, was she in the year below you?
No, she was in my year. Yeah.
It was in your year.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
She's done well for herself, hasn't she?
I hope she does okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the height, man. It's the height.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's the Andre the Giant syndrome.
It's great. It's brilliant that she's done so well. And maybe she'll remember us one day. I don't know.
Maybe she'll look down and.
I mean, she literally would be looking down. She's 6'3"
on everything. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm hoping she'll see this and then come on our show, Jimmy. That's the hope, isn't it? Branch out into other celebrities.
She was great on Wednesday, Gwendolyn Christie.
Yes,
very good in that.
Yeah, she's a very good actress, and she was always very good fun. And I wish her well. I haven't seen her for years, so I hope she's happy with all her millions and millions and millions.
Yeah, don't sound bitter at all.
I'm genuinely not. I hope she's some of my friends are still in touch with her, I think, and they say she's doing well.
We've kind of asked Xenoblade X98's question, as in they asked which franchises would you like to voice for next. You've answered that.
Yep.
Oh, so what game would I want to be in? Was that added on to that other question?
Oh no,
the last question.
Yeah, we missed.
What's your favourite game of all time?
My favourite, probably Mario Brothers 3 on the NES.
Oh, brilliant game!
Oh, superb choice. Well done.
It's really. But like I said, I love the Red Dead Redemption franchise. I really, really enjoy playing that. I remember years ago, this no other game has ever done this to me. I remember sort of lying in bed at night thinking about the game and thinking about what I was going to do, and I was like, oh God, it's got me.
Exactly. They're the best. They're the best. That's the sign of a great game, isn't it? When you're thinking about it when you're not playing it, and you're thinking about when you can go play it and such.
Well, and I play it till like 3 in the morning, and I go, "Oh my God! Like I've been playing this for fucking 5 or 6 hours. This is mental."
Little sweaty, blistered thumbs.
Yeah.
Right. _Leroy asks, how was it to continually work to voice act Shulk from the release in 2011 until now with Xenoblade Chronicles Future Redeemed? We've seen 7 different versions of Shulk, and the voice acting has been consistent and amazing throughout. How did you do it?
Wow. Did you send that question in, Adam?
I mean, I hope it's been consistent, but I mean, I think luckily my voice hasn't dramatically changed since being 28 to now. So it's just a case of going into the sort of right headspace with it, and going into the studio, getting them to play me back some old dialogue, and just making sure that it sounds the right kind of energy and youthfulness. Although he's a bit older. There's a new thing coming out, and he looks a bit older, one might say.
This is a lovely comment in the chat. The way Adam felt about Red Dead Redemption is exactly the way Xenoblade fans feel about the games he is in. So thanks to him for that. Yeah, that's a lovely comment, isn't it? Mm-hmm. And I think that's the reach you have when you're performing in a video games. I mean, they're loved by so many people, and he's the franchises that you're in, Adam, everyone just absolutely adores them, and so rabid. It's a rabid fan base.
I remember I saw Adam at a Comic-Con once. He was there doing sign-ins and whatnot, and I think probably a panel talk, and there was a whole crew of people dressed as the Dragon Age characters, and Adam walked past them, and they were like, all in cosplay, all cosplayed up, and they're like, "Can we have a?" He went in the middle of them, and they all stood round him and took a picture. It was lovely. People who cosplay, like, they're committed, man. That is a committed fan. Yeah. You get fans of things, and then you get the fans of things who will dress up as the thing as well. That's taking it that next step of fandom.
And to travel across the country, or at least across London, wearing that costume on the tube, it's like, wow, that, because for me, like, if I've got to go to an audition, I'll generally like if I've got to wear like a suit for an audition, I'll take the suit into town with me, get dressed in the toilet, and then I'll, do the audition, then get dressed again, and then I'll, but like, imagine going across, like, you've got like this cardboard armor. And
yeah, man. I love it. You see them all on the train. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Jimmy, you want to ask the next one?
Yeah, absolutely. Just before we move on, John Simmons, Scale Modeler, is in the chat. Oi, oi. So obviously having his Friday nightly poo.
Yep. So expect the chat to the quality of the chat to plummet now. To be honest, as he arranges his his social life chat.
Here we go. This is from Wikipedia. How many lozenges / warm-ups, etc., did Adam have to do while voicing Shulk in the beginning, circa 2011, versus present day as Xenoblade 3 is wrapping up the DLC? The screaming must have taken a toll on the vocal cords at some point. I mean, you've already spoken about that a bit already, Adam. Do you want to expand upon your voice and how you maintain it?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that definitely when I was younger, I was just a bit more carefree with my voice. You'd certainly kind of, and I probably could shout for longer. I don't know what it is. Like sometimes I go into a session, and if it gets a bit shouty, I kind of have to ask if we can, generally we would always try to save the shouty stuff to the end of the session anyway, but
that's interesting.
Yeah, well,
it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, because if you're booked for say 2 hours and you do all the shouty stuff at the start, then your voice is fucked for the rest of the session. So I mean, it makes complete sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I will always do some kind of warm up before going to do a voiceover, because you have to, really. It's especially when it's going to be a shouty session. Sometimes the game can be so incredibly shouty that even if you've done a warm up, your voice still gets a bit scratched up. But
how long is a typical session for you, Adam?
Between 1 and 4 hours.
Okay.
They don't tend to go over 4 hours because that's just, even if you're just talking, 4 hours is quite a long time to talk.
Fatigue. I get you. Yeah.
But yeah, if you're doing a shouty session, it would be usually sort of 1 to 2 hours. There's a game I was working on recently, Warhammer Dark Tide, and my character is incredibly shouty. He basically just he's like this religious zealot, and he just goes for it on every line. And he's just always berating the other companions for being sinners, and always going on about the master of mankind, and preaching essentially. But just the energy is so high. I generally only do 1 hour sessions for that character.
Wow.
More than 1 hour, I'm just like, voice is fat.
Yeah. Lovely stuff.
I can imagine. I think I get a headache just. Yeah, I'd be like veins pulsating.
I did a game once where it was like, I think it was like a motocross game. It was like it's like motorbikes or something, and I only did a couple of sessions on it, I think, but I had such a headache. Like I had a full-on migraine just because it was just they wanted every line just screamed. Like it might be screamed kind of excited and elated, but I just came out going, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking faint, because it was just so intense.
Oh dear.
But I can't remember what that's called. It's on the IMDb, I think. But yeah, it was a pretty intense game.
I'm a fan of A Toast of London. And do you ever get the scenarios where you're in the booth and you're having to do the same read over and over and over again. You're doing the same read, but they're just asking you to keep doing it again and again.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And there's sometimes you just can't see the wood for the trees. They're explaining it, and for whatever reason, you're just not getting it.
Yeah.
And so you just keep on doing the same thing again and again. Yes.
That's a cracking Matt Berry. Nice.
Up periscope. I fucking love Toast. I wasn't such a big fan of Toast of Tinseltown.
No, I'm
quite do it
with
for
you
me.
there, mate. Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm gutted to say that because
Yeah.
I love Toast, but yeah, Tinseltown didn't quite work.
I did love the fact that he was the whole narrative thread was the fact he was promised a role in the new Star Wars film.
Yeah. And Ray fucking Purchase comes in, looking really looking the part. Actually,
indeed,
okay.
yeah.
Right, we've got a couple more questions. Let's bust through these.
Yes.
Last one on the sheet before we go to the comments, because there's a few in there.
Shall I do this one?
Yeah, do you want to go for it?
Yep. At Lord Bowser 85. Adam is crazy talented and one of my faves. I love this gem. My questions are: how did he decide to become a VA? Did he think Shulk would become as popular as he did? And would he ever decide to try his crafty hands at streaming? Thanks, guys. Here's to talking nonsense.
I became a VA not really by design. My first ever TV job, I was sharing a trailer with a guy called Simon Lenigan, and he coincidentally had just started a voice agency with a friend of his who's my agent, Lee. And I was just going, I said, I really want to do voiceovers. I've heard, it's sort of, really good sideline to acting, blah, blah, blah. And he was just trying to do his Sudoku, but then his ears kind of pricked up when I started talking about voiceovers. And he went, oh, well, I've just started a voice agency with a friend. And, if you want to go and, send a demo. And I got in touch. She was like, okay, your demo's shit, but I like your voice. So do another demo and we'll see. And no promises. But I did another demo. She liked it. And then, she started sending me off for, commercial auditions for things and for video games. And the video games thing is the thing that stuck the most. So, it was kind of an accident. It wasn't like I was at drama. No one at drama school ever said, voice acting, that's a path. I mean, we did radio classes, but it was all, very much like, BBC drama.
Yes.
Kind of, I auditioned for the
stuff,
I auditioned for the Carlton Hobbs Award thing, where you if you win it, you get like a 6-month placement with BBC Radio, and you do a load of plays. And obviously, I would have loved to have got that, but they didn't pick me. So
they're lost. They're lost.
Didn't someone get that? Didn't Robert Lonsdale get that?
He might have done, but he wasn't. We're not from the same year group.
No,
so he didn't beat me. He just. But I can tell you also that Gwendolyn Christie didn't get picked for that Carlton Hobbs. She was the same year as me, and she auditioned for it too. So
take that, Gwendolyn.
Yeah, but she's fucking gutted.
Right, we'll just go to the comments comment section. Just a quick update on John Simmons' Scale Modeler on the toilet. He's about to wipe.
Nice.
Good stuff.
Sorry, I just realised that there were like 2 extra parts to that question. I don't know if I answered. I don't know if there's time.
Yeah, there's time. But you stay as long as you want, Adam.
Did you think Shulk would become as popular as he did?
No, absolutely not. Because when we were revoicing the first game from Japanese to English, they really played it down. Like they were talking about I was going to get like a European release. They weren't sure at that point whether it would get released in America, and I think it getting released in America was a big deal. There was I think it was people were really calling for it, and it was a bit of a slow grower. I remember, Jim, that Comic-Con that you're talking about. I remember being on a panel, and everyone's asking questions about Dragon Age, and there's this one kid. He stands up and he's going, "No one's asking about Xenoblade," and like nobody knew what it was, but this kid had played it and he loved it, and you know, a couple of years down the line, suddenly everyone's like going on about it. I think it took a bit of time for it to really kind of grow and take hold. So no, you know, as far as I knew, it was going to be a one-off, and then yeah, they started doing the sequels and Smash Brothers, and
yeah. The rest is history, isn't it? Really.
And the last bit was about
the third part of that question. Yeah, sorry, Jimmy. Was would you like to try your hands at streaming? I guess I'm assuming that's video game streaming of the Twitch, you know, and such.
Yeah, there's a guy Harry who's in Xenoblade 3, and he's the main character in Xenoblade 3, and he has streamed playing the game, and so it's like
interesting,
and I think it's been very popular. I wouldn't rule it out. It might be quite fun, but. At the moment I don't have time for it, but I like the idea. It does sound like quite a nice thing to do, kind of Shulk playing Shulk kind of thing.
I think it's super popular, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think the more time you spend off of live content, Adam, the less chance you have of being cancelled. Next question. Next question. From Mikey in the comments, or Mickey, sorry.
Is there anything fans of Adam can do other than word of mouth praise to help him continue to land bigger and bigger roles?
Yes, you can sponsor him at the Renaissance Men Ko-fi. We will pass on that money.
I mean, you could write to all the casting directors in the UK if you want to.
Mm-hmm. You must
get on the Casting Directors Guild website and find out who they all are, and write to them all and say, "Why are you not employing this guy?"
Hound and harass them on social media, anything really. Just kind of get them down.
My partner's part of the Casting Directors Guild. I'm hassling her, going, "You give me a fucking job, like, you know, if you want to go on holiday this year, like, come on."
Ego Buster, he's excited for the Xenoblade 3 DLC and looking forward to your performance in a few days. I think that's probably going to be echoed by a lot of people, a lot of fans of the Xenoblade series. Rock asks, do you get paid purely for your time, or are there ongoing royalties?
No, you get paid per hour, and then you get paid like a buyout for the game.
Okay.
And yeah, there's always like some kind of ongoing chat about how that needs to develop. There was quite a lot of chat recently about because obviously people in different countries get to pay different rates. Like the American Union, SAG-AFTRA, the actors there, generally speaking, get paid better, but it might mean that some games potentially priced out of the market, they might have to then go, okay, well, we can't afford to use American actors, so we'll go to the UK. Or but no, generally speaking, you get paid per hour, and yeah, there'll be a buyout for the game, and
that's it.
And that can vary depending on the budget of the game. Sometimes it might be a really low budget game. They can afford to pay the actor for the hour, and then there's no buyout, and then it's, you know, we're freelancers, so essentially they go to my agent and they'll say, well, this is the deal, take it or leave it, and you can kind of go, okay, well, yeah, if it's a low budget game and you want to show willing, because it might grow into a bigger franchise and then maybe use you again or whatever. So it's
interesting stuff. Egil asks, I had 2 questions for Adam written above in the chat, but the joke one is what matters. Adam, are we just normal men?
We're just normal men. We're just innocent men.
That personal joke just between you and Egg, or did you meet somewhere once?
I have seen this.
It's the BBC. There's this, I can't remember her name. There's a presenter, female presenter. She doesn't do it anymore, but she's on like CBeebies with one of the puppets who's like this kind of like, it's like Buster the dog.
Oh, I've seen that. Hilarious.
And it just kind of kicks in, and they're just looking at each other face to face. We're just normal men. What do you mean normal men? We're just normal men. We're just innocent men. I just love it. It's so like, it doesn't matter what the context is. It just works so well.
Eggle also asks, as a voice actor, do you ever get used to voicing full and deep conversations in a room alone?
Ever get used to voicing full and deep conversations in a room?
Well, I guess, are you usually recording alone, or are you with any of your co-stars?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
And if you are on your own, are you just used to having these deep conversations on your Todd?
I do talk to myself an awful lot. It's a lonely existence. But generally speaking, for recording video games, you generally record on your own in the studio, and then there'll be a director either with the engineer or over Zoom or whatever, just talking in your ear.
Do they do the other voices? Or have you got the recording of the other character?
Sometimes, if they've already recorded the other person, they can sometimes play that to you as a feeder line. Otherwise, the director will read in those.
A really bland reading, just a and you have to react to it.
I'm quite lucky, actually, that most of the people who direct video games are also actors or were actors. So you get someone who's kind of giving it something. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There we go. I think we've covered most questions. If we have missed some, I do apologise. Do what Eggle did. Point us out to a question we may have missed in the chat, and we'll ask Adam as we go on. Adam, are you happy to stay for a little bit longer to talk some Mandalorian?
Yeah, I could stay for another sort of 5-10 minutes or something, and then
happy days. We'll do Mando, and then we'll send you on your merry way, and obviously thank you as always. So that was Ask Us Anything, a wonderful super special edition of Ask Us Anything. Thank you to everyone who sent in questions for us. Truly appreciated. It's now the part of the show where we the Week in Geek, where we just talk about what we've been watching and getting up to this week. So let's transition.
Here we go.
To
Here it comes.
You know, I thought it'd be remiss to getting you on here and not. I mean, I don't just want to talk about. I don't want to talk shop with you. I want to get your opinions on other things, and you know what else what else you're enjoying, Adam. You know, so we thought we'd take something that we've all watched and just chew the cud. That is a term, isn't it? Chewing the cud.
Yeah, chewing the cud. Well, chewing the fat.
Chewing the fat. That's probably what
something
I was thinking.
with
What's
the cud?
What is
Cows chew the cud.
What was I thinking of? Anyway, so we're going to talk
about
Mandalorian.
Sad cow again.
I think more the wife. Yeah, the Mandalorian season 3 wrapped up this week.
Yeah.
We hadn't spoken about it for a couple of weeks, Jimmy. To be honest,
well, we started doing watch-alongs, didn't we? And then we got really bored of the show quite quickly. And
I heard this. I heard that people were getting a bit disappointed with it.
Did you watch it all?
I've watched it all. Yeah, I do agree. There was the episode where the young boy Mandalorian gets kidnapped,
grabbed by the pterodactyl,
by the sort of dragon thing. Yeah. And then that was directed by Carl Weathers. That I don't know if he's directed other episodes.
That was awful.
He has directed a really good episode before.
Oh,
last season directed a brilliant one.
You can say it's brilliant, Adam.
It was what I'd expect from him. I think it was quite kind of. It was action. It was sort of to the point. It wasn't kind of. It was just very diligent and sort of military-like.
Well, he directed in season 2. There was a brilliant episode with Bill Burr where they got him out of prison and they broke into and Bill Burr and the Night King from Game of Thrones had that awesome exchange. That was Carl Weathers' episode. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've enjoyed it. I mean, I think the way there was a little dip, I think, sort of around the sort of pterodactyl dragon thing, and then probably the episode after, and then I think they've salvaged it towards the end. There was some pretty cool stuff that happened in the last
it was
episode.
very action heavy, wasn't it? There was a lot of stuff that happened. You're right. It
the
felt like an hour and a half. It was only 40 minutes, wasn't it? But
yeah, there was a few bits in the last episode, and I was like, I'm loving this. And then just some other stuff would happen and go, that was a waste. That was a waste. Like the bit where he was waiting and R5 was getting the red shields down. He was going next shield and he was picking up a different weapon. It was like a video game, picking up a different weapon on each. That was great. It really showed off his fighting skills. But then you had the bit like with Moff Gideon's clones, and he just killed them all, and you didn't see them all. Like it's been this big build up for these force sensitive clones that's being built by Gus Fring, and then Gus Fring, sorry. And then you got nothing with them. What a build up to a nothing.
There is a theory out there where I think because Moff Gideon didn't have his moustache, people are saying was the Moff Gideon we had in this season, was he a clone?
Is that
so
a
he's
clue?
not actually really dead because he had no moustache.
Yeah, make my clones tashless. I want to be the only Gideon with a tash.
Who knows?
Yeah.
It was some pretty cool stuff. I don't know what they're called, but the guys who come out like dressed in red, what are they called?
They were Imperial Guard, sort of the next generation of Imperial Guards, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they just came out and they go, they just look fucking cool, didn't they?
Yeah,
they looked good. I liked Moff Gideon's armor and stuff, but I did feel like he was like a cosplay Darth Vader or something, like someone who likes Mandalorians and Vader and put it together, and they gave him a bit of a voice change. I just felt like nothing really happened through the entire season. You know, Jack Black and Lizzo throwing those in there. That was what a lot of shit that was.
That was a bit of a disappointment. That's
the episode on Coruscant was,
and then obviously Christopher Lloyd as well. Like it was like it's like obviously I love that man, but like, it was a bit like there's nothing really. It could have been anyone, couldn't it? Really playing that part.
It was very bizarre. And then some episodes like Mando barely did anything. It was just more like the Bo-Katan show. The episode on Coruscant where it was just about the ex-Empire people eating ice creams and you know, doing that sort of stuff.
I think that was my favorite episode from the whole season. And
it's fine as an episode, but in terms of it being in the Mandalorian, it was just like, where's Mando? And I mean, even bringing Grogu back with Mando in Boba Fett was a mistake. Dave as well in the last episode at the bar sat there with his big cowboy hat. Hello. Did you notice him in the last scene?
Oh yes, I did. Yes, he was in there, wasn't he? Yeah.
Like sat like me with my flipping cowboy hat on. Like, all right, Dave, you've been in an X-wing. You don't need to be at the bar. You're not Norm from Cheers. Like, fucking do one. And then just IG-11 suddenly being rebuilt and. I don't know.
Do you know, everything was was surprisingly wrapped up in a tidy little bow, wasn't it? I'd quite like them to finish now. Just do away with.
They're going to do a film, aren't they?
Yeah, that's next.
Yeah, granted, they won't. They'll keep pumping these out, won't they? Until
Dave Filoni's directing a film where he's going to have all of these people in it: Ahsoka, Mando, Boba Fett, Bo-Katan. It'll be a big thing, and probably tying up the Thrawn dynasty, what they're going to set up in the Ahsoka TV show. But I thought season 1 was good and season 2 had great points to it, but I thought this one was a really weird season. It was just weird.
It was
some good bits, but weird
all over the place. I thought I'd agree with you, Jimmy. It's very strange series.
I'm ashamed to say I did nod off a little bit in the Lizzo Jack Black.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I'm not surprised, mate. Not surprised. I'm not. It's a series of diminishing returns to me. I can't say I'm very excited to watch or see where the story now goes. I mean, they're alluding to Grogu and Mando having more adventures as part of the New Republic, but I'm not sure I want to see that.
But is Grogu going to? Are we going to see Grogu in some Beskar? Like,
yeah.
Like with his own little helmet.
They've got to do something with it. When he was running about like that and his legs were doing like, what? It looked like Kermit when you see Kermit running. And
he looked right in the droid, didn't he? When he was like controlling the droid and doing things.
Yeah,
I thought that's a good. That's a good way to go.
But when he was jumping from light fitting to light fitting, avoiding the Imperial guards, it was like, the fuck is this? The only cool bit was when he stopped the fire. That was quite cool. But no, I think he needs to have a bit of a growth spurt, and you need to do something with him, something different.
So, but he's quite. What is he? Is he meant to be like 50 or something?
Yeah, he's 50.
I mean.
Yoda was 900.
Fuck, he's got a long way to go then before he grows a bit.
Like,
he doesn't even talk. He doesn't even talk yet.
I know. He needs to
if you say 900 is like 900 years in Yoda world is like 100 years, I guess, of a human. So how would 50 be?
5, 6.
Yeah. Get in
my
there.
maths right there. Yeah.
So he should be talking. Really, he's a bit slow.
Yeah. If anything, he's remedial.
Yeah. So I don't know. Ultimately, I think I was a bit disappointed with Mando this season, but it's Star Wars, so I'll still consume everything.
If you compare it to Andor, I'll have to watch it because I've got the tattoos. I can't not watch it. But if you compare it to Andor, which was slow at the start, but just in terms of acting and story and script, like it was. Did you see Andor, Adam?
But that's the thing, is that I had to kind of force myself to go back to it because I thought it was really slow.
Me too.
I was just because also I know a few people in it, like, and I was just a bit like, I wanted to see the work they were doing, and I was just like, this is so slow. Why is it taking so fucking long to like? But then it suddenly happened, and then sometimes you just got to be a bit more patient. I mean, even shows like people talk about the best shows ever made. Like The Wire was a bit like that. Like it's sort of like you have to watch about 6 episodes before suddenly you're like, now here we are.
Yep.
Some comments coming in. Luther 1000 respectfully disagrees. I'm assuming on our Mando comments. That's fine.
Yep.
That's fine.
If you can tell us why you liked it, Luther, we'll happily shoot you down.
Yeah, Luther.
That's like saying Stu didn't fuck my prom date senior year. What?
Stu, did you go to the prom?
No. What?
We didn't have a prom in our day.
No.
Stu, we did have a prom. I remember it, and you looked particularly happy that evening. So now I'm thinking, Luther, 10,000.
No,
it's got a bloody
Luther 10,000. Screw you. I liked Andor more than Mando. Yeah, I would agree with that. Manuel Bausch.
As one of the things I said before, Stu, when
it was amazing.
I really feel they shot themselves in the foot by making Mando put his helmet back on. I would have loved to have seen this series where he was mostly Son's helmet, so we could see Pedro's lovely face.
Yeah, but he's not the Mandalorian a lot of the time.
No, he's barely there, isn't he?
He's a fucking voice actor like me.
Just a lazy voice actor.
He's a really well-paid voice actor.
It's a bloody good point. We haven't seen his face once this season, have we?
I don't know.
I mean, last season we saw it in one episode with Luke. No, 2. Luke and Bill Burr. First season we didn't see it. I don't think we may have saw him lift it up and he ate like I don't know, a chicken wing or something. Yeah. Good point.
Good point. There we go. Adam, should we love you and leave you at this point?
Yeah,
it's been
I need to wait.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. You get out.
Try doing this every Friday for 2.5 hours. It's fucking hard.
It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. I just want to reiterate that and thank you for coming on. It's great. We'd love to have you on again if you'd have us.
I've really enjoyed it. Thank you. You've put me. I'm usually very nervous of doing. I've been asked to do these things in the past. I remember doing 1 or 2 of them like years ago, and I haven't done them for a while because I always think I was going to say the wrong thing. I do say the wrong thing, but
you've been fine. I don't think anyone can cancel you on this performance anyway.
No. We say a lot worse.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to your the Hitler game coming out, where you're voicing Hermann Goering. That's going to be wonderful. And hearing how you connected with that character.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
No, you're welcome, Adam. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Adam.
Yeah, thank you. Let's. Do you know what? I will. Before we'll send you off with a round of applause. So here we go. Thank you, Adam. That's Adam Howden, voice actor extraordinaire. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Cheers, guys.
All the best. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. All the best. There we go. Adam.
Thank
Howden.
God he's gone. Jesus.
That was really, really good.
He's lovely, wasn't he?
And
Lovely. And lots of information. Lots of really good and great questions from people. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much in the chat and on Twitter. If you're listening to this on demand, thank you so much for your questions. That was a really good chat. I felt like I wasn't doing a podcast, to be honest.
We'll definitely have him back at some point.
Yes, we will. Right, let's put the overlay back up.
If he accepts our payment.
Of course. Right, I'm assuming the viewers will plummet. But stay with us. Please do stay with us, because we've got a lot more to talk about.
He may come back.
Yeah?
He may come back. Who knows?
That's true. Yeah, he may come back. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for your questions. Yeah, more quality talent like that coming on the Renaissance Men podcast.
We've got some more comments here, Stu. This guy Manuel Bow is all I can see in the.
Ah, yes, yeah, Manuel, thank you. With these new Star Wars shows, it seems they are trying to bring more world building and characterization. Character-driven stories, and Diego Luna captured this nuance a bit better, I think. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to like just put into words why I adored Andor the way it was. I think it was just a bit more grown up. You know, I mean, a lot of Star Wars is for kids, and I mean, that's fair enough. But Andor felt like it was. You know, to use a really simplified analogy, it felt like it was trying to be Game of Thrones, but in the Star Wars universe. There was a lot of politicking, wasn't there? A lot of kind of, I don't know, there's a lot of meat there, a lot of stuff you just get your teeth into. Being very visual with my language at the moment.
It looked great as well. I mean,
it did.
He was an interesting character, and I'm not a big fan of prequels because we know the fate of Andor. We know the fate of Cassian, don't we? We've seen where he goes. So you have to build up other characters to get any sort of suspense and things. And I think they did a good job of that. Certainly with the flipping Gollum character, Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis, like that's the best I've ever seen Serkis act. And I'm not slagging him off in other stuff. He was amazing in this. And Fiona Shaw.
Fiona, amazing. Yeah.
Skarsgård.
One thing I have been a bit disappointed about in the coming out of Celebration these past few weeks, Star Wars Celebration that was held in London. There was panels and announcements around Andor Season 2, and they announced that they've already put it out there that Andy Serkis is back. So I thought,
have they?
Because there was some doubt as to what happened to his character. I would have held that back.
Yes,
to be honest,
100%. To be a nice surprise in the episode.
Disappointing, but you know, I'm happy that he's going to return. Well, I'm assuming. I mean, they've said Andy Serkis is in it. I'm assuming he's the same character. Could be Snoke.
Yeah,
I don't know.
When's Andor's set?
No. Yeah, forget that. Sorry, I'm being an idiot.
No, but it could, well, we don't know where Snoke came from. We don't know where the clone came from. Still, there's rumors that the Snoke is a clone of Plagueis. So there's other options for
Who
him.
knows?
Gollum crossover.
Egil, yeah, that was a really good and entertaining chat. Yeah, thank you, Egil. Thank you for your questions.
Thank you. Yeah,
really enjoyed that. Is there anything else you want to talk about Star Wars?
Well, just that our good friend John Simmons, Scale Modeler, was at Star Wars Celebration.
Oh yes.
He said he had a lot of fun. There's a wonderful video of him and the other
There
modelers.
is. Yes. Go check out John Simmons' channel, John Simmons Scale Modeler. His channel, there's a vlog of his celebration experience. So go check that.
And at some point, we will definitely have John on the show. He is one of the biggest Star Wars fans. He's a model maker. One of his models was actually used in Andor, wasn't it?
Yeah.
as reference for one of the ships. So he'll be coming on the show at some point when we can get him on the toilet. What I need to do?
Off the toilet.
No, we need him on the toilet.
Oh, I see.
Because we need to be able to get away from any distractions. So he can. So I don't know. I just need to fill him up or bung him up. Do something to keep him on the toilet, basically.
Hawk.
Yeah.
Hawk. Jimmy, we've spoken Star Wars.
Yeah.
Obviously, we had a lot of success with our Star Trek content this week. New series out as well for you, Trekaholic.
Yes.
Loving it.
Trekaholic.
Loving it. New one just came out this evening. Just briefly explain what Trekaholic is all about, mate.
So Trekaholic is my new series. They're very short clips. They're going to be all under 3 minutes. I have, over the last sort of 12 months, gone a bit crazy with collecting Star Trek figures, the Playmate Star Trek figures. I've got a collection. So I decided to show each figure off in a video where I showed a figure, and behind me on my very old TV, I show the episode which I like the best.
It's the boy.
It's the best, involving the character of the figure I'm displaying there.
A simple concept, but I think a great one, mate. Not only are you're satisfying fetishists of figures, so people who love collecting and hoarding stuff, people like yourself, but you're also talking about your favorite episodes. It's a great way to synergize all that.
Yeah, and they're just quick little ones, and I've wanted to talk about my favorite episodes for ages, and I thought, well, this will be a nice little way to do it with my figure collection, which has got out of hand. But it's been lovely, and obviously that brings us on to the Star Trek news.
Yes. What you got for me, Jimmy?
Well, the announcement came this week, didn't it? That it has been green-lit to do the Section 31 show. Now, Stu, you confused Section 31 with, did you say Section 28 earlier?
Section 28, which was a series of laws brought in by the British government in 1988 that kind of, it banned the promotion of homosexuality.
Yeah.
1988, as late as 1988.
By Margaret Thatcher.
And still going up until the year 2000. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Margaret Thatcher, what a bitch.
How do you promoting homosexuality?
I don't know. I guess partaking in it? I don't know. It wasn't entirely clear on the Wikipedia, to be honest, but I can't believe that as late as the late 80s and 90s, that was something that they tried to bring in. It's gone now.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because just 3 digits on, we're at Section 31, and Star Trek there's a massive LGBTQ A+ community in Star Trek. Yeah, it's huge.
That's nice.
Yeah, Star Trek's all about diversity, isn't it? And good and stuff. Yeah. I tried to explain it the other week, but I've really struggled. I get you. I mean, as you've said in your watch-alongs and in your Trekaholics, to be honest, Star Trek is human beings kind of. This is what we could aspire to be. It's all about, kind of like humanity kind of coming together and going beyond what our current. I don't know what am I trying to say. Yeah, our current issues are. They says it in Next Generation. Picard says in Next Generation. He's like, we've gone beyond famine and poverty and prejudice, and none of that exists on Earth anymore. Obviously, you get to new Star Trek, and it sort of snuck back in. But hey ho, Section 31. They've obviously greenlit this now because Michelle Yeoh got the Oscar.
Yeah.
This is born out of the second season of Star Trek Discovery, where Michelle Yeoh's character joined Section 31. She was part of Section 31. Now, Section 31 first came around in Star Trek Deep Space Nine, where they tried to recruit Dr. Julian Bashir. This was the first time we had heard about Section 31 in Trek, and no one had heard of Section 31 in DS9. Like, they hadn't heard about it before. Someone called Agent Sloan, played by William Sadler, who is in that group who we were talking about last week, who played Death in Bogus Journey. Anyway, so it's this secret organization in the Federation who would do undercover. They weren't beholden to Starfleet. They did their own stuff, and they were like bit darker, espionage, that sort of thing. And it was a very interesting thing because you're like, who signed off on this? And it was sort of like Starfleet had sort of signed off on it, but they sort of washed their hands of it. It's like, that's nothing to do with us. And they played quite a big role in DS9. But as I say, no one had heard of them before DS9. Then in the prequel Enterprise, Star Trek Enterprise, they introduced Section 31 in there. But they didn't really spread the word. I think only one person knew about them. So that was okay in terms of canon. But then in Discovery, everyone knew about Section 31. And Discovery is set before flipping Kirk. So it was a real canon error that everyone had heard of Section 31. You know, it's like, come off it. And in Picard recently, they've talked about Section 31. So it's out there now, you know. But she's Michelle Yeoh reprising her role of Emperor Philippa Georgiou. And yeah, it said it's going to be, I think it's going to be a film.
Yeah, what do they mean by a special movie event? Like a TV movie?
I guess so, yeah. And they'll probably put it on Paramount Plus at a certain time for everyone to watch. You know, it will probably come out in an evening or something, I guess. Or maybe it'll be in a few cinemas somewhere, as well as Paramount Plus, maybe the next day or later that night. I'm not holding out a huge amount of hope for it. Like, I watch it obviously because it's Star Trek. Michelle Yeoh can be great, but Section 31, you know, when you talk about Star Trek and what a lot of people like about it, which is we've grown beyond all of these horrible things that humans do. Section 31 do the horrible things. So it's going to be it should be a very different type of show.
Yeah, that interests me because, you know, it sounds very un-Starfleet, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. Well, it is. It's very un-Starfleet. And I mean, you haven't watched all of DS9, have you?
No, mate. No, not at all.
They play a pinnacle part in the Dominion War, and you should 100% watch DS9. DS9 got an absolute reprise when it got put onto Netflix, because that's how you're supposed to watch DS9. It's big. You have to binge it. Yeah. Really? Watching it weekly is quite hard. 23, 24 episodes, 7 seasons, so many characters. So there's individual episodes, but there's this ongoing story arc. So when you can binge it, that's the way to watch it. And it got a whole new second life when it was put on Netflix. And loads of people fell in love with it. The writers, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I'm getting a real sense, like, success of Picard. You know, the great reception to Picard season 3. This, obviously, we've got Strange New World season 2. It really feels like there's the trailer of which we shall be watching later in the show. It feels like there's a resurgence in Star Trek. Am I wrong in saying that? Or has it never gone away? It feels like it's coming back.
Yes, the start of the comeback was Discovery season 1, and the first scene is Michelle Yeoh and Sonequa, the actress who plays Michael Burnham. Her surname's gone. Sonequa, I can't remember. They were in the first scene, you know, and it was quite, you know, people were saying it's monumentous because it's two women of color in the first scene of Star Trek is back. Do you know, I've just rewatched Star Trek Discovery season 1.
Thank you, Edgar. Please join us again next week.
Enjoy.
Lovely to have you. Thank you so much for your input.
That's all right. Tell us what you're having, Eagle. Yeah, I've just rewatched it, and do you know what? It's brilliant. Season 1. I forgot how much I loved it, and I'm going to do a video on that. So since then, they've been trying to bring it back, and loads of Trek fans have been back watching all of it. They can't keep, even the ones that hate it can't keep away because it's Star Trek. You know, you just can't. And there's been some good stuff. Prodigy. Is it Prodigy or Prodigy?
Prodigy, isn't it? I think.
I thought it was Prodigy, but is that the band, or are they called Prodigy?
They're called Prodigy. Yeah, Prodigy. Prodigy isn't a word. I don't
Right.
think.
Okay. So it's Prodigy. Right. So Star Trek Prodigy on Nickelodeon is really good. Lower Decks is good fun. Discovery season 1 was great, and then sort of Taser, Strange New Worlds. They're pumping. It's a franchise that obviously has an audience. So thank God, they are putting money into it, because hopefully it's going to keep on going. We don't want it to fall apart. But yeah, it's been great. Again, all Star Trek's good Star Trek. I said this on the group the other day. There's certainly bits I don't like, but I'm glad other people do like them, because it puts money into it, and we get amazing things like Picard season 3 and bits of Strange New Worlds and Prodigy.
That's the one.
Michelle Yeoh, it's green lit. She got her Oscar, so they've gone, go on then, we'll do it.
Happy days. Well, like you say, more Trek is good Trek. More Trek is good Trek. Oh, you know what I'm saying. It's good to have more Trek. Good to have more Trek. I might have to call an audible for this episode, because we went long with Adam. And I think that was justified, because we had him in. We had a lovely section with him. Perhaps we will skip the botchcast this week. Well, how'd you feel about that? I mean, I've watched Raw and SmackDown. I'll just say enjoyed both episodes. There's no real wrestling news that I could really find, apart from WWE reaching agreements with their talent to start streaming again on Twitter, which I think is a good move, and I think benefits both. There was, I think, the agreement being that any profits made from the streaming has to be split 3 ways now. The performer, I think Twitch gets their slice, and now WWE will get their slice. So they've obviously come to some agreement.
That's good.
Yeah, that's good. So because I think there was a lot. I think having these guys on Twitch probably brought some people to WWE. There's a lot of cross promotional there, isn't it?
Crikey, they have Logan Paul on, who's one of the biggest YouTubers in the world. Like, why would you not let your wrestlers bring in more audience?
So we'll bring the botchcast back in full next week. So that's that.
Stu, you are going to have to excuse me for 2 minutes. So if you want to go on to your...
Do you know, I'll do the Lego news that I've got, and then we can round up the Week in Geek with what you've been watching. Yeah.
Yes, wonderful. I'll be back.
Cool. So some Lego news for you all. I always like to pick out a Lego story, as my T-shirt says. I'm a huge Lego fan, and some more Bricking It videos coming to the channel. I've got a few lined up to go. Got a couple of magazine builds to do, and I've got I'm starting a microfighter collection. So I've got the Slave one. Yes, I think I've got Slave one to do. Or was it Mando's? I can't remember, but I've got a microfighter to build, and I'll do a video for that for you. But an announcement by Lego this week. We had a Sonic the Hedgehog set. I think it was like last year sometime. Yeah, I think it was just like I think it was a diorama. One of the 18+ diorama sets. It was very much a display build, not a play build. But it looks like Lego are transitioning the Sonic franchise into more of the play builds, like the ilk of the Mario sets that we've got. So, like I say, Lego announced this week a series of Lego sets. So let's get this up on stream and take a look at these. I'd like to ask Jimmy if he's a Sonic the Hedgehog fan. I'm not a massive Sonic fan. I'm more Mario, more Nintendo, I have to say, but I think these look quite cool. Sonic the Hedgehog. So what have we got? How many sets we got here? 4 sets coming in August. Sonic, the first being Sonic's Speed Sphere Challenge. That's a mouthful. Set 76990. 292 pieces, $35. The prices generally kind of convert the same to pounds. What I like about these Sonic sets, Jimmy, as you can see, there's like this mechanism where you have to push down, and I'm assuming Sonic speeds off. So that seems to be the gimmick with these sets.
Yeah.
I guess you put the little Sonic minifigure, load him up there, smash down on the pad, and off he goes. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
That cross between Lego and Hot Wheels.
Yeah. I think that's the same set, but just the reverse. Tails Workshop and Tornado Planes, set 76991, 376 pieces. This is a 40 bucks. I like that. Nice plane. That's kind of iconic, isn't it? From Sonic 2, where you get the level where Sonic and Tails are on the plane collecting rings and stuff. That's not bad. Missing the firing mechanism though, so that's a shame. Amy's Animal Rescue Island, 76992, 388 pieces for 50 bucks. One for the I don't know, the girls, would you say? I don't know. I don't like to
not in this day and age, Stu.
I shouldn't do that, should I? I apologize. But okay, if you're a fan of Amy, knock yourself out. It's not one for me, but there we go. And this, I think this is the big set. Sonic's Green Hill Zone Loop Challenge, set 76994, 100 bucks, 802 pieces. The thing with this, you get the Sonic launcher, as I've coined it, but you get a Dr. Robotnik or Dr. Eggman minifig for the first time. I can't really see it. You can't see him in his little ship.
Yeah, you can see him. I can see him.
There you go. Yeah, Dr. Robotnik, as he was over here. I think he's Dr. Eggman in the States, but yeah.
Is that what it is? I always wondered why I knew him as different names.
I don't know why the name has changed, to be honest. But yeah, I'm liking this theme. I'm liking this set in particular. This is quite a cool set. The others aren't really floating my boat, but I don't know. I'd be tempted with that. I think that's something that Benj would quite like to play with. I like the fact they're bringing out like a play themed set as opposed to like you may have missed me say to me, but there was a Sonic set already out, but it was more of a diorama adult set.
Mm-hmm.
So they've kind of transitioned the theme into more play sets for the kids. But yeah, loving that. So check out those. They're coming out in August. I should get my my Star Destroyer soon. I think that's coming out soon. I pre-ordered it. The what's Vader's Star Destroyer called? Executor.
Right. We've got a Star Destroyer here somewhere.
Have you?
Yeah. Bought for me by a lovely one of the loveliest friends of the shows. I won't give their name away. For a Christmas gift.
Lovely.
But my wife will be building it. I'll be watching her build it.
Yep.
And displaying it, but it'll be my wife that builds it because she's the Lego
vicariously through your wife at that point.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. So again, when the Executor comes, I'm sure I'll produce some content based on the building of it. Yeah, that's all my Lego news, Jimmy.
It's lovely.
What you been watching, my friend? What have you been watching?
I've been I've watched quite a lot this week. But the one thing that really stood out to me was a new sitcom on the iPlayer. And it's called Colin from Accounts.
Okay.
I didn't quite know what to expect from this, and my mum and dad recommended it to me. I'm like,
okay,
interesting.
Is that a good sign? Do they have a good judge of content?
Yes, they do. My dad's probably more in line with me, but my mum's still got a great sense of humor and will comment and stuff. There's a little dog there. These are the two main characters. What happens is, you can see here, he hits a dog, and they've just met, and it's like, well, whose fault was it? Okay, we're probably going to get this dog put down, but they decide not to, and it's in a wheelchair. You can see there.
Lovely.
The reason it's called Colin from Accounts is
I assume he's is he an accountant?
No, he runs a microbrewery.
Oh.
When they decide to keep the dog, it's an Australian show.
Okay.
And he says,
I was going to ask, yeah.
She's like, what should we call it? And he's like, well, I don't want to give it a boring name like Rex or Spot or something. Let's just give it a nice human name, And they're like Carl or Paul or something. And then one of them goes, Colin. And they're like, yeah, Colin from Accounts. So the dog is called Colin from Accounts. That's why it's called Colin from Accounts. And she has to stay with him because her place where she lives won't allow dogs.
Okay.
And they're both sort of, it's the dog, it's like, are you two a couple? It's like, no, it's a whole thing with a dog. But obviously you can see where things are going to go. It's a really, really nice comedy that is, doesn't hold back on its humor. It's quite bawdy. The Australians have a wonderful sense of humor, which is like,
they do.
It's like ours. It's like the British sense of humor, but with a little bit of a change to it, a bit of a twist, but maybe a bit more optimism. But it's still that similar vibe, that sarcasm to the British. And I think there's 6 episodes. I've watched 3. All of them have been really good. It's just a nice sitcom, nice watch. And there's a bit of a romantic sort of thing in it as well, which is nice. Yeah, it's on the iPlayer.
I'm not gonna lie. I love a sitcom with a little bit of a hopeful. I'm a hopeful romantic, I think, and just having that in a show. Having that in a show. Ask Luther 10,000. I'm a romantic man. Stole his prom date senior year. Just saying.
Didn't just steal her, Stu. You fucked her.
There we go. I love my sitcoms with I quite like unrequited romance. I think that's a nice story where they kind of flirtatious throughout. Are they? Aren't they? I like all that.
Yes. Well, look at The Office, the British Office.
Tim and
Pam.
Whatever. Yeah.
Pam? Dawn. It's in America. It's Jim and Pam.
Yes.
Tim and Dawn. Yeah. Lovely. It's that sort of
lovely stuff.
The moments that come in their friendship where it's like, oh, that's sweet. Yeah. I really recommend that, Stu. I think you'll like it.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's one for the Garrards, certainly, to chuck on. We need something. We're kind of at an impasse with things to watch at the moment. The Mando has moved on, and we need something that kind of half hour, I'm assuming.
Half an hour.
Nice. Jimmy, I'm with you on that one.
Get Deep Space Nine on. Start from series 2 and just get stuck in.
Well, I need to carry on with Picard, don't I? Because I want to experience the excitement you're getting. But I've got to go through the turgid first 2 seasons.
I'm trying to convince the wife for me and her to do a watch along with the Terrifier.
The what?
Terrifier.
Do it.
Because my wife really likes horror movies, and recently she's been off of TV and films for ages. She's more interested in books and doing a Lego and reading really. And then the other night she went, maybe horror would get me back into films. I went, let's watch Terrifier and film us watching it. She went, you always want to film everything. I'm like, okay.
It's all content, baby. Yeah. We are whores for the views now, aren't we?
Yes.
The bug. The little dopamine hits when we get a new subscriber is fantastic. I showed the picture of Amanda, her reaction to the Terrifier. Yeah. Oh, and I was watching it. Oh my days.
Well, maybe you and Amanda watch Terrifier 2 and film that, and we'll watch Terrifier 1.
You're on.
We'll film that.
I think that's all the news I've got. There's nothing else I really want to get into. There was some. I did have a story, but I kind of want to speak to Adam about it. It was controversy around a recent video game that's come out and how they're withholding certain voice tracks for people who've paid for the deluxe edition of the game. Fuck it, I'll do it. I've done half the story now. So there's a Gollum video game coming out, right? And the developers,
I saw this being advertised.
Yeah, the developers have gone at great pains to have a fully voiced Elvish, I guess not soundtrack, but audio track, like people talking in Elvish. So as you go through the game, I guess through the Elvish bits of Middle Earth, all the characters will speak Elvish, but they've put that behind a paywall, so you only get access to that more immersive content if you pay extra for the game, which I think is crazy, absolutely crazy. So if you're just playing it normally, then I think the developers have come out and said, oh, certain important conversations.
I should hope so.
Will be in Elvish, I guess it will just be they'll just have it in normal English, I'm assuming, or your language of choice. But yeah, I thought that's a really
weird.
shady way of kind of nickel and diming people out to get into the deluxe edition of the game. And I wanted Adam's thoughts on that. I wanted to know if he had been involved in voicing that Elvish to then find out that hardly anyone is going to be able to experience it unless they've paid extra for it.
Yeah.
Of which he will probably see nothing at all.
Yeah.
That just seems like utterly shady practices, but that's like, I think that's just the video game industry for you, Jimmy, unfortunately.
What do you think of deluxe editions of any games?
I'm not a massive fan. I mean, I have purchased them in the past. Do you know, I will usually pull the trigger if it's a game I really love or I'm really looking forward to, and it gets me, say, 3 days early access to that game or access to a beta or something. I think that's when I would stump up for a deluxe edition.
Right.
Which they sometimes do, I wouldn't be surprised if there was if the Star Wars game coming out at the end of this month, if the deluxe edition didn't give you, I don't know, 72 hours early access to the game.
I got really annoyed with there was like Force Awakens extra levels on a deluxe version and stuff.
That's shady, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like that. I find it unbelievable. And sometimes the WWE games have like an extra character, like get the angle version if you.
The most recent practice I know is Hogwarts Legacy, where if you got it on, it's not a deluxe edition thing, it's a platform thing. So if you bought it on PlayStation, you got access to an extra mission, which was quite a good mission to play through.
Right.
So I think anything like that where you're excluding people from content, I think is a really I don't get it. I don't get it. Surely you want as many people to play the work you've created as possible, really. But
yeah, I'm not a fan of that. Just release the game.
They've got to make money as well, don't they? So
they make their money, Stu. I know how much software developers get paid, for Christ's sake.
Of course, yeah. I forgot. That's your bread and butter.
Yeah, I'm a software developer.
Yeah.
That's why I'm so good with tech.
That was the Week in Geek. There we go. Jimmy, it is time that we take a look at a trailer.
I'm excited.
Each week. So let's settle back and enjoy and give our hot takes to a trailer. The latest trailer. Hot takes. Welcome to Hot Takes. Jimmy, can you see the curtains?
I can see the curtains. I can see the hot takes. I can see the Kofi. I'm ready. I'm pumped.
Excellent. Happy days. Right, let's key this up. So we're going to watch and react to the Strange New Worlds Season 2 teaser trailer that released this week.
Yep.
Looking at you. Yep. Cool.
Yep. A couple of days ago, not long ago.
We're going hard on the Star Trek content this week. We're go big or go home.
Well, absolutely. Well, I'm a big Trek person.
I know. I know. We cover it all. So yeah, Strange New World Season 2 coming to Paramount Plus. I'm not sure if it's shown anywhere else. I thought it might be coming to. I think it's coming to Sky at some point.
Isn't Paramount on Sky?
It is. Yep. I think it's an app in itself, but it is available on Sky as well.
I think you can buy it on Prime as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's out there. You can go and search for it and find means and the means to go watch it. I really enjoyed the first couple of episodes that I watched from Season 1. Kind of went off it because other things came and took my attention, sadly.
Yeah.
But I would like to go back because it is it's like a reimagining of that classic Trek era, isn't it? The 5-year mission or whatever it is.
I think it's set. I think it's set either 5 or 10 years before Kirk has the Enterprise, because obviously the first ever episode of Star Trek is called The Cage, and we didn't have Captain Kirk. We had Captain Pike, and he had his number 1 with him and Spock, and then that was the pilot for Star Trek, and then when they did the show, obviously we had Kirk and Uhura and Sulu and everyone.
Yeah.
So now this is we got introduced to the new Pike in Star Trek Discovery season 2, the new Spock and everyone, and then they've done Strange New World season 1. I enjoyed parts of it. It looked nice. It was a bit brighter than a lot of the other Trek that was out there. It was a bit more episodic, which was nice.
Yes, that's what I noticed, is how episodic it was. In nature, it was like.
And there was my favorite character is probably the Andorian. I say Andorian. I don't think they're called Andorians. In Star Trek Enterprise, we found out that there's another type of Andorian who are blind, and they're much paler, and they live like deep in the ice caves.
Albino Andorians.
And they're I think they're psychic as well, and their senses are all enhanced because they're blind. Yeah. And there's some terrible stories about albinos, isn't there, in Africa?
Is there?
You heard about that?
No.
We'll talk about it briefly. I'm sure it's parts of Africa where certain tribes think that albinos are like lucky and mystical and things, and they try and get them and cut bits off them and eat them,
Oh my God!
And there's
taking a tangent.
There's an island where they have all the albinos. They put all the albinos for safety, and it's like surrounded by crocodiles and stuff. And people still try and get to these albinos.
This sounds like you're leading up to a joke. Where's the punchline?
Now, a very good friend told me about all of this. I've never researched it.
No.
So now I'm saying it out loud.
It sounds horrendous.
He could be winding me up. But anyway, the Andorians weren't trying to track down these albino Andorians. And anyway, they had one of these guys as the head chief engineer. And he was a brilliant character. But we've got a new chief engineer this season, in, you know her name, Stu, from Scrooge, one of your favourite movies.
Oh.
Laurie. Is it Laurie? Laura?
I can't remember.
Holly. No, it might come up. When we see him, I might remember her name.
Hang on. Yeah. I've got the IMDb here. Sorry. I always forget that. I'll look this up. You carry on. Talk amongst yourselves. Yeah. Oh, wait. I'm the host. Shit. What's her name? Come on. We can do this.
She was in Scrooge. She played one of the ghosts. You keep looking. I'm shooting. She was in the Gotham TV series. She played the Penguin's mother. She was very good at that. Gosh, she's been in loads of things, isn't she? Fantastic. Why have you not found her name yet? Crap. Just do the trailer. I'm sure.
No, we need to know. I don't care if people are going to moan about this waffling. We need to know.
Isn't it?
If anyone was still watching,
something?
they'd help us.
Oh, I'm on it now.
Not on here? Oh, Carol Kane. Carol
Kane is the new chief engineer in this
I didn't even
season.
find her on IMDb, but it just came to me.
Nice. So I'm excited about this. I'm excited about season 2 more than season 1. Usually season 1 they're finding their feet. I'm hopefully season 2 we're going to crack on. Let's do this, Stu.
Let's do this. Right. Let's go mid on the audio levels. Are we ready? Let's do this.
In the mystery and vastness of space, we come together.
I love that ship design. It's classic, isn't it?
From so many planets.
There she is.
Everyone on their own journey.
Ready for some fancy flying, Erica?
Oh, you know I've got this.
I'm thinking it's a sign that the freckles in our eyes are mirror images.
Meet James Kirk.
Nice.
You have an energy.
What?
It's making me sweat.
Klingons, interesting.
And they look like good Klingons.
think of myself as
Uhura. She's very good as
always
Uhura.
alone. Not on this
Spock
ship.
playing his instrument.
Through great wonders and great danger. The next great age of exploration starts with us.
This looks
Has
great.
their thing. Everyone in the chair has their thing.
I would like the ship to go. Now.
That's how it's done, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, oh. Where are they?
Never seen a revolving door before.
Where
I'm
are
from
they?
space.
Are they in the past there? Was that Kirk in the past?
Looks like it, didn't it? I thought they looked fantastic. Oh, you know, bar the music choice, which I wasn't a massive fan of.
What
but
was that?
I don't know, and it felt very out of place.
Yeah.
But in terms of content, I want to go back and watch season 1. Finish that off.
Yeah. It did. That did look. Kirk came in. Kirk's brother is on the ship in season 1. His brother.
Yes, I think I got around to that point where they started mentioning
Yeah.
him.
He's got a tash. He looks like Sam Rockwell in Galaxy Quest. So it's interesting they've recast. That's a hard. I thought Chris Pine did a really good job in the first Star Trek film when they had the new Kirk. I thought he did a good job because he's hard to do, Kirk. And this guy, I think this guy was all right. I'll watch it again. That sort of what are you gonna say? Everyone says something in the chair. I'm a bit sick of that joke. They did that in Discovery. Like where Saru took over as the captain, he was like, "I'm trying to come up with something to say when I want us to." And you're like, "No, it all started." You know, Picard just said, "Engage." That's what he said. Engage the fucking warp drive, and then, Jesus,
He just used the right word that you would use in that scenario.
yeah. And now it's become Michael Burnham says, "Let's fly." Like, God,
To infinity and beyond.
Pike says, "Punch." I think Pike says, "Punch it," which is quite cool.
Punch it. Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, look colourful. I mean, I'm looking at this as a very much a layman to some degree. You know, I have watched Star Trek, but and that looked great.
Yeah.
Simply, you know, the visuals, it looked fantastic. It looked like some money's been spent on it. Yeah, kind of it got me intrigued and wanting to watch it.
Yeah,
I have to
nice
say.
and bright. There's a lot of new Trek which is really dark and and I don't mean dark's in nasty. I mean you can't see what is going on.
Yeah.
So that did look good for that. It's cool. One comment I heard from I was watching the Red Letter Media guys on YouTube who I watch a lot, and they absolutely love Trek, and they said one of the things with Discovery where it went was because first series was very different to series 2, 3, and 4. They said Next Generation and things like that. It was a group of adults. Like they were like the Navy, you know, and it was a group of adults having adult conversations about things. Whereas Discovery sounded like a bunch of teenagers, you know, high fiving and punching fists and doing. And you're like, yeah, it's not why you necessarily watch Star Trek, you know.
Frat house.
Yeah. So, and because Discovery season 1 had Jason Isaacs in it, Saru was great in it. I think Burnham was better in series 1 where she had these people to play off, and they were again adults. But yeah, it sort of got dumbed down as it went on. But that looked good. That looked like a bit of a mixture. It had something for everyone there. I'm with you. I just wish it was a different song.
Yeah.
A different song.
I don't know what I would have suggested, but I don't know. The modern pop song, or it's not. I say modern. It was probably like last 20 years, isn't it? Let's be honest. But
I didn't know what song it was.
No, I can't. I've heard it, but I don't remember what it is.
One of the last seasons of Discovery had is it Lenny Kravitz? The I want to get away.
Oh, really?
I want to fly away.
You don't have licensed music, do you? You have
like
orchestral, etc.
Yeah. Do you remember in the third Star Trek movie, the JJ ones, where they played Sabotage?
I haven't seen the third one.
Oh,
I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Sabotage by the Beastie Boys.
Sounds shit. Yeah. But there we go. That was Hot Takes. The Strange New World Season 2 teaser trailer. Looks quite good. Quite good.
I'll watch it. And I'll record myself watching it, Stu.
Lovely stuff. Lovely. I pour him out for content. I let him out the cupboards only to record videos.
Yeah.
There we go. That was Hot Takes. Right, let's wrap the show up. Jimmy, I've got back into a roll with this. Got some more bird news. I've got bird news thing, but we've got bird news. But let's do and finally. I love how you take your earbuds.
So loud. So loud.
Oh dear. Bird news. Okay, let's get the link up. I can't remember what this is now.
Oh,
no,
it's exciting for you then.
I know. Here we go. Right. Oh yes, I remember. You can't see that. Let me bear with. Let me just remove the overlay. There we go. Firefighters from 2 stations descend to Poundland to rescue a pigeon.
What?
Yep. Pigeon. So we've all heard stories about firefighters rescuing cats stuck up trees, but have you ever heard of them rescuing a pigeon stuck on the roof?
No, because the pigeon can fly.
2 fire crews were sent to a branch of Poundland in the Tunstall area of Stoke-on-Trent, Staffordshire, after a pigeon got stuck in netting on the shop's roof. Okay, so it's encumbered.
It's still. How high up was it? Was it worth it? How long was it going to take to die?
Yeah. And how much did it cost to send those 2 fire crews? How many firemen do we reckon? Like 12? I don't know.
How much does blooming Johnny Taxpayer here pay for the rescue of pigeons? You tell me, Stu.
I don't know. I can't do that math. But the incident happened on Thursday, and shoppers spotted the 2 Staffordshire fire and rescue crews using an aerial ladder platform, to reach the birds. My reading.
Rescuing a pigeon from a roof. This is ridiculous.
The rescue took about an hour. And the pigeon was checked over by the local RSPCA before being set free. It just flew off because it can fly.
Meanwhile, 12 people died in a bakery fire.
Oh, here we go. A spokesman for the fire service said, on arrival, we found a pigeon stuck in netting at roof height. Crews managed to get the bird down and it was treated at the scene by the RSPCA before being released, as we know. 2 crews from Longton and Sandyford were sent to the scene at around 1:15 p.m. and the incident was all wrapped up by 2:10. Thankfully, the bird was uninjured with only some ruffled feathers to show for its adventure.
Yeah. My feathers are ruffled, I'll tell you that much.
Yep. And it's not the only animal to get itself stuck in an awkward situation this week, as a fuming red squirrel had to be rescued from a manhole cover in Germany. But after all that fuss, the pigeon will probably choose to shop at Pound Stretcher from now on.
That is rubbish. Because that's not even a pigeon pun. It's just a different pound shop.
Yeah, it felt like he was leading up to a really good gag.
Like,
no,
I'm sure in the future he would have shopped at
the co-op.
Perfect. Yeah, the co-op would have been fine. You didn't even need to do the thing. The co-op was perfect.
Okay. So only the latest breaking news for you here on the Renaissance Men.
I'm not going to beat that pun. That was perfect.
He's trying. He's thinking.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm out. It was too good. The overlay's not back.
Yeah, I like that.
I can't believe that. I can't believe they've gone out for a pigeon. Yeah, I mean,
what sounds like a waste of resources.
That bird that was in your bathroom wall, and you just watched it. You just watched it die slowly over a series of days.
I'd forgotten about that.
Could you have called the fire brigade out for that?
Probably could. Well, on that evidence, I should have done. You know. Yeah. You know, it's nesting season soon, isn't it? I think we might get more in there.
Oh, lovely.
Might just slowly as they build a new nest, pushing the corpse of the old chickling out just plop into my shower. I imagine surely it's just dust now. Really? I don't know. It's been a year.
No, there'll be a skeleton.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, something to look forward to. Bad news.
Me. Yeah, bad news. There we go. That was episode, what were we? 173, is it? I think it is.
I think you said 173, yeah.
Episode 173 of the Renaissance Men podcast. I hope you've enjoyed it. That felt like a really enjoyable experience to me, the host, and Jimmy, my sidekick. I'm calling you a sidekick. My ward.
A Burt Ward.
Yeah, it felt good. Lovely chat with Adam Howden earlier. Yeah, some lovely questions, some lovely interaction from the chat. I guess there's going to be loads to thank, isn't there? Christ.
Got to thank.
We'll try it. Egil, thank you. Manuel Bausch. Looter 10,000. My sexual nemesis. Ray was in chat. Oh, I didn't spot you, Ray. Hello, Ray. Mickey. We'll go Mickey.
Mm-hmm.
Rock. Thank you, Rock, for joining us. Ego Buster. John Simmons. That's Ego Buster and John Simmons, not John Simmons, the Ego Buster.
He's the toilet buster.
Alex Piri. Thank you. The Storm Wizard, Metal Face.
Yeah, he just threw that in there, the Storm Wizard.
Yep. Thank you, Storm Wizard. Lacey, thank you, Lacey, for your comments. Dexter Manning, thank you, sir. Martin Coker, thank you, Martin. Snuck in there, didn't he? Neil J, of course, right at the start. And for some reason, the chat repeats itself.
Yeah, it's weird that.
I hope we didn't miss any comments, because I noticed that halfway through the show, like the chat was, as I was scrolling down, because it said we had like 39 chats. As I scrolled down, it kind of went back up on itself. So apologies if we did miss your question.
It was very weird, wasn't it? I think that's everyone, buddy.
Thank you very much, one and all. And of course, if you are listening to this on demand or watching this on demand, please do like, subscribe, and comment in the comments below. If you've got more questions, put them in. I'm sure we can send them Adam's way.
Yeah, we'll just keep hounding him.
Yeah, we'll do that. Why not? I think that's everything, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy, thank you.
Thank you.
Pleasure, mate. It's been a great one. Until next week, I don't think there's anything else left for me to say. Have we got any content coming up? I'll release the third Trackaholic,
and I'll be
probably Sunday, I reckon. Saturday or Sunday.
And I'll be recording Picard tonight.
Yes.
I'm going to go and do that now. I'm nervous, Stu. I'm nervous. I'm that excited.
I hope you love it, mate. I hope they stick the landing for you.
Me too.
It's been a hell of a journey, and it's been amazing and heartwarming seeing you enjoying it so much. And your reaction last week was great. I loved seeing it. It made me well up just editing the bloody thing. So it's nice. It's really nice to see someone enjoy something. It's really infectious.
A very good friend of mine who's an actor said he said it was like, he's not a nerd. He said it was like, is this a parody? He said it was like watching a parody. I was like, no, that's my genuine emotions to this.
I did enjoy the very first comment that came in on the video was someone saying this reaction seems fake.
Yeah, but they got slaughtered, didn't they, by the other commenters?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're fake.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jimmy, as always, and thank you to everyone who's watched, listened, or supported us during this. But we've crossed 400 subs, so. Yeah, thank you so much. It's been it feels like we're kind of, going somewhere. So
getting there. 500 in the next month. We want, don't we?
We're getting there. Yep. Yes, we could do that. We could bloody do that. So anyway, thank you all. Please take care. Until next time, please take care and goodbye.